Okay, so we're getting that. Now it's a little bit more detailing around the edges, or around the sides here. So what I'm going to do, okay, so I'll extend this. Oops, not that one. I'm with this object. Edge, that one, and that one. Oops, the one's down the bottom as well. So those edges I'll just extrude, and that can be a little section because remember we're having two shops side by side. That can be a little section to block that area or to separate sort of between shops, so to speak. I might actually do that on this side as well, and that one. Now I don't want to be totally symmetrical, so that goes in a bit, so maybe on this side of this shop that is a little bit thinner perhaps. There we go. And then while I've got those still selected, extrude, move, and there we go. So it sort of blocks that area off. Okay, almost getting there with the before we duplicate it for the other shop, but before that I might create a little bit of a footpath sort of section just to put in a bit of a context. So go to edge mode, extrude, move out, about there. Again, it can vary in your case, but I'll just do it here. Now we want to extend that footpath, so I'll make that path into a separate object. So select that face and that face, extract. So again, oops, what have I done? There we go, that's better. So if I select that object, you can see it's separate, even though it was made from those edges. So now that it's separate, I can scale it out. So we can sort of stretch out a little bit longer, and again we can always extend it further later. Now that edge we don't need because that edge was based on that the original edges that we extruded. So we don't really need that edge. So I'm going to go to edge mode, select that edge, not delete it because we want that edge and the points on either side deleted at the same time. So with that edge selected, I'm going to go to edit mesh and go delete edge vertex, and there we have it. So to get the gutter happening, edge mode, extrude, should be able to get the idea with the edge, with the extrude rather tool, very handy. Extrude, again depending on how detailed you want the shape, you can add more extrudes or edge loops, but for us it's fine. I'll just stretch it out to about there. Again, it'll vary depending on your composition. You might need to make some adjustments, but that should be fine for now. Okay, so we're ready to duplicate the shop. So I'll mark select the whole shop. I won't do the footpath. I'll just control deselect that, so it's only just the shop that we want. Now I won't bother grouping it. I guess I could group it just to make things a little bit more sort of, I don't know, easier, but it's not going to make a huge difference at this stage. It'll be easier just to have all the shops selected, duplicate it, move, and then move that to the side. So now what we can do is make some adjustments to make it sort of match up a little bit better. So maybe that's a bit of a gap between that shop. So what I can do is, I might not need that because I've got that there, so I'll delete that, that, and that. again. Now because I'm getting away with not having to group that, because I'm not going to actually rotate it, so if I was rotating it would skew, wouldn't rotate properly. All I'm doing is moving it, so in this case I can just simply select all the objects and move them. So I'll move it a bit closer to the edge there to line them up. The footpath can now be a bit longer, but rather than scaling it, I can just simply go to vertex mode, select those vertices and just drag them out like that. Here I can make some adjustment. I could probably select those faces. Don't have to do this, it's just to keep it a little bit different. So I'll just move that up, close the gap. So in line, you can sort of see I'm moving it around. Select those edges, or vertices, it doesn't matter because all I'm doing is just moving it in. That'll do. Don't have to connect those, they can stay the way that is. Okay, so we're definitely getting there. Okay, so that's my two shop fronts, but you know, to make it more interesting, I might begin modifying or varying one of these shops a bit, just so it's not just a duplicate. So I guess, I mean, it's up to you at this stage how you want to adjust it, but what I might do is make this shop here a little bit longer. So all I need to do is go to vertex mode, select all these vertices on that side and move it along. So I'll just do it up to about there. Guess you can make the footpath a little bit longer as well. Okay, so here, modify center pivot. I can move the wall back. The floor, same thing. In this case, it'll be vertex mode. So I'm simply just making selections of the components here and just moving them to make it, in this case, wider. Here, vertex, select all these vertices on the frame there, just stretch them out. Now again, to make it a bit different, we might, for this shop, not have this cross beam or section of the window frame. So what I might do is in face mode, select, marquee select those faces, delete, turn it around so we can access these ones. So marquee select all of those. You can see they're all selected and delete. Okay, so the holes that we're left with, we can deal with them pretty easily. What I'm going to do is right click, and I'll do one at a time. You should get the idea. Do this one first. Okay, so you can see we don't need those anymore, and there's a gap there where the window frame was. So all I'm going to do is select all those vertices, go to the scale tool, scale them down like that, select them all, and go edit, mesh, merge. That should get it done so you can see they're all merged. Do the same thing here, scale that one, or select those vertices, go to scale, squash it down, and merge. There's one more, frame it, yep, scale, squash it down, select them all, and merge. So we don't really need those edges anymore, so I'm just going to click those edges. Now one way of actually that makes it easier, rather because it's one continuous loop of edges, rather than selecting one after the other, holding shift key down, you can simply double click one edge and it actually automatically selects the loop of edges all the way around. So with that selected, and I guess you can do it with those others at the same time, hold shift key down, double click, shift key, double click, so all those sets of edges here and here are selected. and then we simply edit mesh, delete edge vertex. They're gone, and there's a new window frame. Okay, that pretty much takes care of the base model of what we want. Again, you're going to vary and make adjustments whether now or later when you get your designs for the shop window happening. But for now, it should give you a pretty good idea in terms of the modeling of what you need to do.